What's up? I'm Trent Windsor, and we are in search of the perfect shuffle. It's time for another segment of Clearing Out the Archives, where I shuffle my music and whichever album pops up, that is the album I review song by song. If a song is more than 50% skippable, if I would listen to it less than half the time, I would say just get rid of it. It is not worth your time. If it is less than 50% skippable, if I would listen to it more than half the time, I say it's a worthy addition for your perfect shuffle. Last time we shuffled our music, and the album that popped up was Oracular Spectacular by MGMT. MGMT is an indie pop rock band from Connecticut. Back when I was in middle school, if you were like a real indie kid, then you liked MGMT.
Oh, my favorite band? Oh, you've probably never heard of them. They're called MGMT.
Of course, when their debut album Oracular Spectacular actually came out, they were touring with people like Radiohead. So obviously not quite so underground as I felt they were back in the day. This debut album of theirs really did give them a lot of hype, a lot of attention, but was it worth all of the hype and attention that it really did get? Let's find out as I review it song by song. Song number 1 is called Time to Pretend, and it starts out with some really funky, spacey, wet, moist noises, which is kind of gross for me to say. But then we're kicked right into the spacey and synth-heavy song. These synths on this song are very lo-fi, if that makes sense. If a synth could be pixelated, that's what I imagine it would sound like. It's upbeat, yet spacey and ethereal throughout. The lyrics themselves seem kind of fake deep, kind of hippy-dippy, anti-corporate stuff, kind of along the same lines of like those boomer comics, phone bad, book good. This song is more like a job bad, drug good. Despite all that, it definitely creates a large soundscape and is very immersive listening experience. It comes with a really crazy music video, which is like part Lord of the Flies, part TikTok filter, part PS2 graphics on acid. All in all, a very interesting song, but there's some very cringy aspects to it. I would say that it's 40% skippable. Song number 2 is called Weekend Wars. This is a solid and seamless mix of kaleidoscopic synths with classic rock instrumentation. It's kind of a duality, a juxtaposition between these two things, and perhaps that represents the balance that the singers seem to have with weekend partying, the weekend wars, and real life struggles. Really well written melody, very enticing, one that sticks with me, and the lyrics are a little bit less preachy, a little bit less fake deep than that first song. It does fade out at the end, which is kind of lazy, but also it may be more symbolic of how this struggle that they face balancing drugs and partying with real life responsibilities never seems to end. It may seem to fade into the background, but it's never quite over. This is me reading a lot into a song.
The album cover says it all. Okay, there's lots of symbolism there. The paint on their faces represents the mask we all wear.
All in all, 35% skippable. I really do enjoy this song. Song number 3 is called The Youth. This one's a lot slower, more ballad-like, but it still has a heavy dose of synths and spacey soundscapes. The chorus is very repetitive and not in an enjoyable way. I want you to understand just how much it grates on my nerves to hear somebody forget to write the rest of the lines for their chorus. The song really does drag on, especially when the chorus is played like 12 times in a row at the end, so I would have to say this one is 60% skippable. Song number 4 is called Electric Feel. This one has a very funky bass line that really drives the whole song, gives it a very groovy and fun feel. It turns out, MGMT, they like sex. If the hippie persona wasn't totally complete with the whole we love drugs, we hate jobs thing, here's the third part of that trifecta. The music video for this one really confused me. It started out just like a bunch of hippie kids dancing around a fire type thing, but tell me why there's an animatronic Chuck E. Cheese type band just randomly. It just shows up. Has nothing to do with the rest of the video. It's really freaky, it's scary, and inappropriate, unneeded. Very fun, good little groove, 30% skippable. Song number 5 is called Kids. This was the big hit from this album, the one that's the most recognizable out of the bunch. This one has a huge anthemic stadium rock type feel, and the grand nature of this song is boosted by these huge wavy synths. Once again, very enticing melody, very well written in that way, very easy to sing along to. The music video for this one is so strange, I plan on filming a reaction video to it, because boy, there's just too much to unpack in this review. Another great song, I'd say this one is also 30% skippable. Song number 6 is called Fourth Dimensional Transition. This one kind of has like a Egyptian, gypsy type feel, you know, kind of exotic. A little bit of a Snake Charmer vibe maybe, but with like a really lame drum machine on top of it. Not only that, there's some pretty strange synth lines, and the singing is really bad on this song. Now, listen, this isn't like a Groban and Bocelli situation, okay? We're not looking for world-renowned singers, but their voices, they really turn up the whininess on this song. The nasally nature of their voices really pops out in a terrible way. I just don't enjoy it. 60% skippable. Song number 7 is called Pieces of What. It's an anti-war acoustic jam. I told you they are hippies, man. It's a decent melody, but more bad singing. Where I wasn't really bothered by the singing in the earlier songs, here it just really starts to grate on you a little bit. It's not my favorite, it's not terrible, but that singing just really kind of punches me in the gut a little bit, so I'm gonna have to say it's 55% skippable. Song number 8 is called Of Moons, Birds, and Monsters. This is a dark, cool rock song. There's lots of change-ups that make this song very dynamic. Changes in tempo, changes in instrumentation, changes in the melodies. The song always keeps you guessing and leads you into new directions that are all very pleasant and interesting. It's got a really long, spacey outro, but it's a full crescendo, which keeps things interesting. It may not be quite as catchy as Kids or quite as groovy as Electric Feel, but I still think it's a decent song. I would say it's 45% skippable. Song number 9 is called The Handshake. I honestly don't have much to say about this song. It's honestly just pretty forgettable. There is one thing, they say they've got the handshake under their tongue. Oh, what? You have the what? Where? And why? How did it get there? Can you check my tongue, see if I... Make sure I don't have the handshake down there. This is another one, 60% skippable. And the last song, song number 10, is called Future Reflections. It's a little surf rock tune. Another one with very few memorable moments. And once again, the vocals really are not great on this one. The vocal performances on this track do more to detract than to add to the song. So I would have to say it's 65% skippable. And those are all the songs. Tallying everything up, mathematically speaking, this album as a whole is 48% skippable. No matter how I feel about it, this has become an iconic album. For me, the hits from this album have stuck around in my heart and in my shuffle for 13 years, while the rest have really fallen to the wayside. After re-listening to the album, it feels somewhat simplistic and weirdly preachy. As an album, as a whole, maybe it's not my favorite, but the gems from this album I definitely will hold on to because I think there are some really genuinely interesting performances and good songs. Alright, let's shuffle our music, see which album I'll be reviewing next. Alright, we're just going to go into our music library here, go into albums and hit shuffle. Alright, looks like the next album I'll be reviewing is Beware the Book of Eli by Ski Mask the Slump God. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications. Leave me a comment below, let me know what you think about MGMT and Oracular Spectacular. Let me know if there's an album you want me to review, and I'll see what I can do. Check the link below for my playlist of the best of 2019 and the best of 2020, a playlist that is growing by the week. I'm Trent Windsor, and this is The Perfect Shuffle. Side rant. Does every single song that uses the word weather at the end of a line rhyme the next line with either together or forever? Can we please find anything else to rhyme the word weather with? You pleather? Write a song about pleather, dang it.